Hello and welcome to the News by Standards. Chancellor Jeremy Hunt has unveiled the contents of his first budget in the House of Commons. It had a focus on prompting those who have left jobs to return to the workforce and boosting business investment. So we're going to look at a recap of some of the main parts of the speech. In terms of fuel, alcohol, pensions and wages, there is a cap on the amount workers can accumulate in pensions savings over their lifetime before having to pay extra tax. Currently, the threshold lasts at 1.07 million to be abolished. Tax-free yearly allowance for pension pot is to rise from £40,000 to £60,000, having been frozen for 9 years. Fuel duty has been frozen. The 5p cut to fuel duty on petrol and diesel, due to end in April, is been kept for another year. Alcohol taxes to rise in line with inflation from August, with new reliefs for beer, cider and wine sold in pubs. And a tax on tobacco to increase by 2% above inflation and 6% above inflation for hand-rolling tobacco. In terms of energy bills, prepayment meters and nuclear power, government subsidies limiting typical household energy bills to £2,500 a year have been extended for 3 months until the end of June. There's a £200 million to bring energy charges for prepayment meters into line with prices for customers paying by direct debit, which affects 4 million households. There is a commitment to invest £20 billion over the next 2 decades on low-carbon energy projects with focus on carbon capture and storage. Nuclear energy is to be classed as environmentally sustainable for investment purposes, with promise of more public funding, and £63 million to help leisure centres with rising swimming pool heating costs and investment to become more energy efficient. In terms of childcare, universal credit and back to work plans, 30 hours of free childcare for working parents in England is to be expanded to cover 1 and 2-year-olds, to be rolled out in stages from April 2024. Families on universal credit are to receive childcare support up front instead of in arrears, with the £646 a month per child cap raised to £951. There is a £600 incentive payments for those becoming childminders, and relaxed rules in England to let childminders look after more children. There is a new fitness to work testing regime to qualify for health-related benefits. New voluntary employment scheme for disabled people in England and Wales called Universal Support. There are tougher requirements to look for work and increased job support for lead child carers on universal credit. £63 million has been offered for programs to encourage retirees over 50 back to work, called returnships and skills boot camps. And immigration rules are to be relaxed for 5 roles in construction sectors to ease labour shortages. In terms of the government debt, inflation and economic growth, the Office for Budget Responsibility predicts the UK will avoid recession in 2023, but the economy will shrink by 0.2%. The growth of 1.8% predicted for next year, with 2.5% in 2025 and 2.1% in 2026. The UK's inflation rate is predicted to fall to 2.9% by the end of the year, down from 10.7% in the last 3 months of 2022. And underlying debt forecast to be 92.4% of GDP this year, rising to 93.7% in 2024. Corporation tax, investment zones and tax breaks. The main rate of corporation tax paid by businesses on taxable profits over £250,000 has been confirmed to increase from 90% to 25%. Companies with profits between £50,000 and £250,000 pay between 19% and 25%. Companies able to deduct investment in new machinery and technology to lower their taxable profits. Tax breaks and other benefits for 12 new investment zones across the UK, funded by £80 million each over the next 5 years. And reduced paperwork for international traders, who will also be given longer to submit customs forms under streamlined rules. In terms of other measurements, commitment to raise defence spending by £11 billion over the next 5 years. Prison sentences for those convicted of marketing tax avoidance schemes, £200 million this year to help local councils in England repair potholes, an extra £10 million over the next 2 years for charities in England helping to prevent suicide, streamlined approvals process promised for new medical products, and £900 million for new supercomputer facilities to help UK's artificial intelligence industries.